Normal summon Marble Machine and have it search for Carturbo, special summon Carturbo, and link both of your roids off into Rubberband Shooter. Then you're gonna banish a synchro from your extra deck and... wait, what? Effect failure? I don't get anything? But I've got nothing left to play with. Damn it, I should have paid attention to Sensei during his lesson. Has this ever happened to you? You went and watched a YouTube video from a guy who really knows their shit about a deck, but their voice was just too pleasing to the ear that you forgot to pay attention, and now when you go to play the deck, you misplay out the wazoo. Turns out the best deck in the game right now ain't your regular deck with simple plays. This deck needs you to be in God mode to get the most out of it. What can I say, man? Synchro decks aren't the same as your normie Xyz, Fusion, and Link decks, bro. You can't just open Duel Links while you're on the toilet, pick up a synchro deck, and go up to ranked, expecting to be on equal footing as your opponent, who is also on the toilet, but they're playing a non-synchro deck. Unlike them, you gotta clock in, lock in, and have a clear mind. But not just anybody gets to go clear minds. No, the prophecy says that only the most locked in duelists, only the most dedicated, can unlock this mysterious dojutsu. But with the right training, maybe we can be among those few who can really do it. If we want to master the speed, we're going to need none other than the speed god to show us how it's done.
Sensei, I knew I was a bad student. I didn't pay attention when you so graciously gave me the speed sauce, but I need your help. And it's not just me. The whole community won't be able to enter clear mind if you don't show us the way.
Undead! I get it. You want to bring in a new wave of Speedroid players, but let's be real, you haven't shown me anything that says you're ready for that level of responsibility. You didn't even value the knowledge I already gave you. So why should I trust you with the final piece? You just water it down. Ruin the Speedroid legacy.
But I've changed, Sensei. I've grown. If I can prove that I'm worthy, will you share your knowledge with me and with the world?
Look, I don't think you're gonna change my mind. But if you can prove you've really changed, that you understand the way of speed, then maybe I'll train you further.
So guys, before we learn any of the complicated aspects of Speedroid, we have to prove to Prestiged, the god of speed, that we can all pay attention. So, lock in, and let's get right down to it. Speedroids is a turbo synchro deck. Similar to Yusei, it uses low-level monsters to climb into powerful high-level synchros. For going first, we've got 5 super powerful synchros. Clearwing Synchro Dragon negates a high-level monster effect and destroys it, but it can also negate an opponent's monster effect that targets your high-level monster. This can be really strong against decks that can use high-level monsters like Synchro or Fusion decks, but it's more commonly gonna be used as a way to protect your other big synchros from targeting. The alternate version, Clearwing Fast Dragon, targets an opponent's extra deck monster, makes its attack 0, and negates its effects. It's important that this is a proactive effect because it can be used just like Veiler, but it's also offensive because on our own turn we could reduce their monster to 0 just to get more damage in, not to mention the fact that this can be used to prevent or bait out opponent's effects without having to wait for them to activate. Clearwing Rider on the opponent's turn contribute itself to summon these two from the extra deck at the same time, so by summoning this guy, we can essentially get out an offensive negate, a defensive negate, and a potentially bonus offensive negate depending on the matchup. Crystal Wing Synchro Drag can negate any monster effect, not just high level ones, making it one of the most imposing boss monsters in the game. People go out of their way trying to summon this in other decks, but for this deck it's pretty damn easy. Finally, the ultimate boss, Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon, can negate any back row, and when a monster effect activates, it can quick effect make itself unaffected by monster effect and gain the attack of the monster that activated. That's 2 defensive quick effects, one of which can be considered offensive in the right matchup. Our deck's trying to set up as many of these defensive synchros as possible so we can keep the pressure on our field with big fucking synchros that either stop the opponent's plays or stop the opponent from breaking what we've built. Clearwing, Crystal Wing, and Crystal Clearwing all gain attack when responding to a monster effect based on the attack value of the monster that they're responding to. And they're already pretty big as it is, so if they get to activate on the opponent's turn, it's going to be pretty difficult for them to be able to beat over them. And if we get to use them on our turn, it makes it just so much easier to OTK. We've got a lot going on for the OTK too, because this deck's so damn good at breaking boards, not just making them. Any of our negates are going to be able to prevent opponents from interrupting us, but especially Fast Dragon, since he's proactive, he can both shrink something to make going for game easier and negate something to prevent opponents' interaction. When it comes to straight up board breaking, it turns out Drake isn't completely washed as long as he's flying a kite. Kite Drake on summon either negates the whole board or destroys the whole board. That versatility is really helpful, and it's always going to bait out interruptions if not outright getting rid of them. Clearing Rider on your turn can roll a cube that on each side has a different number of dots from 1 to 6, and the number of the side that's face up when the cube lands is the amount of cards you can return from grave to deck and destroy from the opponent's field, and it also gains 500 attack for each card you destroyed that way. So he can get pretty big even if you only rolled a 1. He can get to 4k, which in combination with a fast dragon is a clean and easy way to OTK. Returning your level 7 synchros to the extra deck of this effect is pretty good because it turns on its quickie on the opponent's turn to summon them back out. These cards are what we're always aiming for, and our deck is designed to help us summon these whenever we need them. Our synchro materials are the Speedroids, and they can be broken up into starters and extenders. You'll see all the extension pieces as we get into the combos, but our 3 starters are Terrortop, Marble Machine, and Ultra Hound, and we can search for them with win or scratch at the cost of a discard. If you start with Terrortop, you can special summon him from your hand, and on summon he will activate to search for Taketomborg. Special summon Taketomborg, then use its effect tributing itself to summon red-eyed dice from deck. On summon, red-eyed dice can make one of your other monsters change level to any level between 1 and 6, and you'll make Terrortop a level 2. Red-eyed dice tunes Terrortop to synchro summon Cork Shooter, and on summon Cork Shooter revives both of its materials, which is going to trigger red-eyed dice again, but this time you'll make Terrortop a level 6. Red-eyed dice tunes Terrortop to synchro summon Clearwing Synchro Dragon, and then remove the limiters, regulator open, Kuria Mindo, Excel Synchro Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon. Now since you control a level 10, you can activate the skill to search for Den Den Daiko Duke. Activate your skill again, discarding Duke and another card to revive your Crystal Wing. Now you can activate Duke and Grave and resummon Red-Eyed Dice, and then Red-Eyed Dice tunes Clearwing Synchro Dragon to synchro summon Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, and this will be your super strong end board from just 1 card. Alternatively, your Duke could revive Cork Shooter, and you could Excel Synchro a second copy of Crystal Clear if you wanted to set up 2 back renegades. That's really good depending on the matchup, but not everybody has room in their extra deck for 2 Crystal Clears. This end board is super strong, but it would fold to a Lava Golem, which is really popular because of Utopia. So you could just leave your end board with just the Crystal Clear as your only monster, and instead use the skill to search for Duplicate, which is pretty much a searchable compulsory for this deck. Still, you're gonna get 2 interruption no matter which way you choose to take this combo with the help of the skill. If you start with Ultra Hound, normal summon it, and on summon it'll activate to send Duplicate to grave. In grave, Duplicate can activate to summon itself as a level 1 tuner and lower one of your monster's levels by 1, so it makes Ultra Hound a level 2. Duplicate tunes Ultra Hound to synchro summon Cork Shooter, and on summon, Cork Shooter can search for another copy of Duplicate. With a skill, you can discard 2 cards to play Clearwing to your field, and then Cork Shooter can tune Clearwing to Excel Synchro your Crystal Clearwing. Now that you have a level 10, you can activate the skill to add back the first Duplicate from grave, so you have 2 duplicates to interrupt the opponent, plus the Crystal Clearwing protecting itself and you from the opponent's threat. If you start with Marble Machine, normal summon it, and on summon it'll search for Taketomborg. Special summon Taketomborg, then it'll use its on-field effect tributing itself to summon Red-Eyed Dice from deck. But don't activate Red-Eyed Dice. Red-Eyed Dice tunes Marble Machine to synchro summon Cork Shooter, and on summon Cork Shooter searches for Duplicate. Use the skill discarding 2 cards to play Clearwing to your field, then Cork Shooter tunes Clearwing to Excel Synchro Crystal Clear. Then you can use the skill to search your second Duplicate. You might notice these combos all had nothing to do with a Link monster Rubberband Shooter. The reason for that is because Rubberband Shooter is an RNG card. This isn't Pokemon Pocket, guys. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! We aren't trying to flip coins. So for the most optimal usage of this card, we want to make sure we can benefit off of it regardless of what happens. The deal with this guy is he banishes a synchro from your extra deck, and you take 2 Speedroids from deck whose levels total that synchro's level, and randomly one goes to your hand and the other goes to your grave. In order to benefit from this, you could banish Clearwing to reveal Terrortop and double Yoyo. That way you either get to add Terrortop to hand to use it from there, or send it to grave to revive it with Yoyo. You don't need to do this if you already have Terrortop. This would be a play you might go for with Hound or Marble. With Hound, you can normal summon it, send Duplicate from deck to grave, Duplicate summons itself from grave, and you can link them both off into Rubber Band. If you started with Marble Machine, you could normal summon it, have it search for Carturbo. Carturbo can special summon itself, and you can link them both off into Rubber Band. Rubber Band banishes a Clearwing and reveals Yoyo and Terrortop, and what happens next depends on which goes to your hand. If Terrortop goes to your hand, activate Rubber Band's other effect to let you bonus normal summon your Terrortop, and on summon, Terrortop will search for Taketomborg. Special summon Taketomborg, then Taketomborg tributes itself to summon Red-Eyed Dice from deck, and on summon it will make Terrortop a level 2. Red Eye Dice tunes Terrortop to synchro summon Corkscrewder, which on summon will search your other duplicate. Then you will use the skill to send Rubberband and a card from hand to play Clearwing, and Corkscrewder can tune Clearwing to Excel Synchro Crystal Clearwing, and finally you can use a skill to add back duplicate from grave. Instead of Corkscrewder searching duplicate, it could instead revive Terrortop and Dice. Dice could make Terrortop a level 6, and then Red Eye Dice could tune Terrortop to synchro summon Clearwing. Then Corkscrewder could tune Clearwing to Excel Synchro Crystal Clearwing, then the skill could search for duplicate. You could then send Rubberband and a card from hand to grave to revive Clearwing as extra protection for your field. Alternatively, if the Rubberband put Yoyo in hand, Rubberband can activate to let you bonus normal summon the Yoyo. Yoyo will revive Terrortop. Terrortop could search for Taketomborg. You can special summon Taketomborg from hand. Taketomborg can activate tributing itself to summon Red Eye Dice from deck, and Red Eye Dice can make Terrortop a level 2. Red Eye Dice then tunes Terrortop to synchro summon Corkscrewder, and Corkscrewder activates to search duplicate. Then use a skill sending Rubberband and Yoyo to the grave to play back Clearwing, and Corkscrewder can tune Clearwing to Excel Synchro Crystal Clearwing, and the skill can give you another duplicate. This version of the combo might seem to end the same way, but the main benefit of it is that it gives you extra cards to send to the grave for the skill to play Clearwing, allowing you to keep more cards in hand like staples, extenders, or follow-up play. The main downside of this play though is that Rubberband gives a hell of a lot to you. The search and the center grave, the bonus normal summon, the card is just packed full of value, but you sacrifice valid synchro material to go into it because it itself can't be used as synchro material. So if the opponent negates it or even removes it from the field, then you're gonna be pretty damn screwed. On the other hand, if the opponent negates Corkscrewder, at least you can use the skill to get out Clearwing and still go into Crystal Clear. It's cool to know these combos if you feel like your opponent doesn't have hand traps, but most of the time it'll be better to use Rubberband as an extension play later on in the game, and I'll explain that more a bit later. Another combo you could go for with Terrortop ends on a much better board, but is more susceptible to interruption. Special summon Terrortop from hand, and on summon it's going to search for Marble Machine. Normal summon Marble Machine, and on summon it's going to search for Taketomborg. Special summon Taketomborg and use its on summon effect tributing itself to summon Red Eye Dice from deck. And on summon have Red Eye Dice make Terrortop a level 2. Red Eye Dice tunes Terrortop to synchro summon Corkscrewder in the extra monster zone, and Corkscrewder revives Terrortop in Red Eye Dice, and Red Eye Dice makes Terrortop a level 6. Red Eye Dice tunes Terrortop to synchro summon Clearwing Synchro Dragon, then Corkscrewder tunes Clearwing to Excel Synchro Crystal Clear. Then since you control a level 10, use the skill to search for Speed Recovery and activate it to revive anything. Link off your Marble and other Speedroid to go into Rubberband. Activate Rubberband, banishing a second copy of Clearwing from the extra deck to reveal Denden Daikuduke and Fuku Madoshi Piper from deck, and one goes to your hand and the other goes to your grave. It doesn't really matter which one goes where, because you're going to use the skill discarding the one you added to your hand and also sending the Rubberband to the grave to revive Clearwing from your grave. Then with both Duke and Piper in grave, Duke is going to banish itself to revive Piper, and Piper is going to trigger to look at the top 2 cards of the deck, and you can add one to hand. Piper tunes Clearwing to synchro summon Clearwing Rider. Since this combo does end up using 2 of your Clearwings, the Rider's only going to be able to summon one from the extra deck on the opponent's turn, so you're going to need to have Clearwing Rider roll the dice so you can get one of your Clearwings back into the extra deck to be summoned on the opponent's turn. These 1-card combos for the most part guarantee you a Crystal Clear and maybe a couple other interactions besides it, but if you include more of your extender Speedroids in the combo, you can go even further. During the combo, we tend to search for Taketomborg, Denden Daikuduke, and Marble Machine depending on the combo, but if you already have any of these in hand, it means you can search another extension piece to make your combo go even further. Let's say you have both Hound and Taketomborg. Normal summon Hound and send duplicate, and use duplicate engrave, making Hound a level 2 to summon itself. Special summon Taketomborg from hand, then tribute itself to summon Red Eye Dice from deck, and use it to make duplicate a level 6. Red Eye Dice tunes Hound to synchro summon Corkscrewder in the extra monster zone, and it activates to revive Hound and Dice. The Dice is going to make Hound a level 4, then tune the Hound to synchro summon Hagoida. Duplicate then tunes Hagoida to synchro summon Clearwing Rider, and since you control a Speedroid tuner, you can use Hagoida engrave to revive itself. Use a skill setting 2 cards from hand to grave to play Clearwing to the field, and Corkscrewder tunes Clearwing to Excel Synchro Crystal Clear in the extra monster zone. Activate the skill to search Speed Recovery, and then activate it to revive Corkscrewder, and Corkscrewder tunes Hagoida to Excel Synchro Crystal Ring Synchro Dragon. At the end of the play, regardless of when you went first or second, you can activate Clearwing Rider to roll the dice. You'll get a minimum of 1 as a dice roll, so you'll guarantee that you can shuffle back Clearwing so that on the opponent's turn, Rider can summon both it and Fast Dragon from the extra deck. You get a lot of power out of that combo, but the downside is that it will take your whole optimal hand. But if you got staples you want to keep for that matchup, you can do this combo with Hound and Taketomborg instead. Normal summon Hound and on summon it's going to send Duplicate to grave. Activate Duplicate to summon itself and make Hound a level 2. Special summon Taketomborg from hand. Taketomborg activates tripping itself to summon Red Eye Dice from deck and it makes Duplicate a level 6. Red Eye Dice tunes Hound to synchro summon Corkscrewder, and Corkscrewder revives both Red Eye Dice and Hound, and Red Eye Dice activates to make Hound into a level 6. Red Eye Dice tunes Hound to synchro summon Clearwing, then Corkscrewder tunes Clearwing to Excel Synchro Crystal Clear. Activate the skill to search for Speed Recovery and activate it to revive anything. Link off Duplicate and your other Speedroid to go into Rubberband. Rubberband banishes a Clearwing from the extra deck to reveal Denden, Daikoduke, and Fukumadoshi Piper. Activate the skill, sending Rubberband and whichever Speedroid you added to your hand to grave to play Clearwing back to the field. Now you can activate Duke in grave, banishing itself to summon either Red Eye Dice or the Piper, so you can tune it with Clearwing to go into either Crystal Wing or Clearwing Rider. If you got literally no starters at all, it doesn't necessarily mean you can't combo. If you start with Taketomborg and Carturbo, you can normal summon Taketomborg and special summon the Carturbo. Use Taketomborg tributing itself to summon Duke from deck, then link both off into Rubberband. Rubberband banishes a Clearwing to reveal Terrortop and Yoyo, then Rubberband can bonus normal summon whichever you got in hand, which either way will result on you being able to activate Terrortop to search for Taketomborg. Special summon Taketomborg. Taketomborg tributes itself to summon Red Eye Dice and on summon it makes Terrortop a level 2. At this point if you have Yoyo, use the skill to send it and the link to grave to make Clearwing, otherwise keep going as normal. Red Eye Dice tunes Terrortop to synchro summon Corkscrewder and Corkscrewder revives Terrortop and the Dice, and Dice makes Terrortop a level 6. Dice tunes the top to synchro summon Clearwing and Corkscrewder tunes Clearwing to Excel Synchro Crystal Clear. At this point you can use a skill to search for Duke if you didn't get Yoyo, or Duplicate if you didn't get Yoyo. If you got the Duke, you can use the skill discarding the Duke and another card to play back Clearwing. Then use Duke and Grave to revive the Dice, and Dice tunes Clearwing to summon Crystal Wing.
If you've really bricked, the skill can technically help you unbrick. For example, if you have a level 3 or lower Speedroid and double Yoyo in hand, you can activate the skill discarding your level 3 or lower and another card to play Clearwing to the field. Then normal summon Yoyo, revive your level 3, and from there you could go into Rubberband and make a play from there. Or if the level 3 or lower you discarded was Red Eye Dice, you could have it make Yoyo a level 2. Red Eye Dice tunes Yoyo to synchro summon Corkscrewder. Corkscrewder searches for Duplicate, then Corkscrewder tunes Clearwing to Excel Synchro Crystal Clearwing, and you can use the skill to search for your other Duplicate.
This next combo needs Terrortop, Carturbo, Yoyo, Taketomborg, and Recovery, but if you don't have one of these monsters then Terrortop can search it for you. And if you don't have Recovery or a monster, you can search it with the skill later in the combo. Special summon Terrortop, search a missing piece, special summon Taketomborg, and tribute it to summon Red Eye Dice from deck and have it make Terrortop level 2. Dice tunes top to synchro summon Corkscrewder, and Corkscrewder revives them back, and Dice makes the top level 6 to tune it again into Clearwing. Corkscrewder tunes Clearwing to Excel Synchro Crystal Clear, and at this point you can use a skill to search Recovery if you don't have it, or Carturbo or Yoyo if you don't have it. But if you already have everything you need, you can just search for Duplicate as a bonus interruption. Special summon Carturbo, then normal summon Yoyo, reviving Dice and having Dice turn Carturbo into a level 6. Dice tunes Yoyo to synchro summon Hagoida, and Carturbo tunes Hagoida to synchro summon Clearwing Rider. Speed Recovery revives Corkscrewder, and Hagoida revives itself, so Corkscrewder can tune Hagoida to Excel Synchro Crystal Wing. At the end, use Clearwing Rider to return Clearwing back to the extra deck. Study all of these combos, memorize them and the cases where you can use them, and you'll grow to understand the way these cards work just as a result of it. Going second though, we've got so much more available to us because of the skill. If only the opponent has a monster, our skill can let us search without us needing a level 10 on board. It's going to make it way easier to search for our Terrortop to make sure we can go for our strongest combos. We can search for Speed Recovery to make it easier for us to play through interruptions. We can search whatever extension plays we want to take our combos further. But most importantly, if we're going second, we also get to spawn 5 Speedroid Synchros straight to our grave. Kendama, Chanbara, Hagoida, Puzzle, and Corkscrewder. Hypothetically, we could search Speed Recovery and revive Corkscrewder, then revive Hagoida by its own summon condition to Excel Synchro right into Drake to destroy or negate the whole field. One way or another, getting rid of the opponent's interruption, but that ain't even all we can do. The spell card Shock Surprise can banish 2 Speedroids from grave to destroy any 2 of the opponent's cards. With the free Speedroid Synchros we get in grave, they ain't all gonna be that helpful to us, so we can pretty freely just banish like Kendama and Puzzle to break the opponent's board before even making the rest of our plays. Unfortunately, Shock Surprise isn't searchable, but that's probably for the best because we wouldn't want a skill that can by itself destroy 2 cards in a way that's so hard to interrupt. What makes this deck so nice at playing through to interruptions is that the Terrortop combos that are always available going second because of the skill don't take up your normal summon at all, and end on a monster that can protect the rest of your plays from back row. So if the play gets stopped, you can use your normal summon to keep it going, and if it doesn't get stopped, then they fucked up letting Crystal Clear protect the rest of your plays. If Crystal Clear isn't the first synchro you want to go into, you could go for the combo as normal, but revive Hagoida when you make Cork Shooter, so you can go right into Crystal Wing to negate a monster effect. Or if you're going first and want to negate Nibiru, you could have Red Eye Dice turn Terrortop into a level 4, tune into Hagoida, and have Hagoida and Cork go into Crystal Wing and continue from there. If you want to play against Nibiru most of the time though, you should just make Cork, search Duplicate, use a skill to play Clear Wing, and go into Crystal Clear and have that be your whole play. This play is interruption and protection enough against the decks that play Nibiru that you'll be perfectly fine most of the time. Hagoida can actually act as an interruption depending on the matchup. It's got a quickie to tribute itself and increase the levels of all monsters on board by 1, and if the opponent's playing synchros or exceeds, this can really screw them out of their plays, so it can sometimes be a legitimate interruption.
Sensei, did I finally get it right? Everything I've learned, I've shared it. They asked me to show them, and I gave them everything I had. Everything I had to learn on my own after I recklessly didn't pay attention to what you taught me.
You've come a long way from having an unclear mind.
The people need the wisdom of the speed god. I've done all I can, but am I worthy to learn the final speed technique?
I think it's finally time. I'm returning from retirement. YouTube, we are here. Undead and I are working together to bring you the best Speedroid content out there. If you have not done so already, I highly recommend that you check out my Speedroid Advanced Guide. That's on my channel. That, in combination with this video, will help elevate your gameplay so you can be the best player out there. I'm a top 2000 WCQ Speedroid player. I've played this deck for 10 years. Let me shed some wisdom on you right now. Let's go. When it comes to playing Speedroids, there are a few pieces that you must assemble throughout your turn so you can get the best possible result. The most important piece that you need is Terrortop. It's a free special summon and a search. That means that you can bait out your opponent's negates. You can bait out their effect failure. You can bait out their droplet. Most of the time, that's actually fine. That's your least committal play that, if it goes unchecked, will help generate you advantage. The next most important card that you need is Taketomborg. Taketomborg will let you special summon itself if you control a wind monster. That's very good because you contribute it to special summon any Speedroid tuner from your deck. A lot of the time you're going into Dice. A lot of the time you're going into Fukumadoshi Piper. A lot of the time you're going into Den Daikodu. It all depends on your situation, but it's very, very strong. The third most important piece that you need is Double Yoyo. This is the card that will help revive any level 3 or lower Speedroid monster from your graveyard to help go into further plays. Finally, the last main piece that you want in your hand is Carturbo. If you have it in your hand, it does enable a lot of combo potential. It helps you get into Crystal Wing. It helps you get into Rubberband Shooter. It helps you synchro off because a free special summon on a level 3 tuner is insanely powerful. If you end up getting all of these main pieces in your hand, you can do pretty much any power play in the entire deck. So it's important that you assemble as many of these pieces in this order as possible throughout your turn. It will help give you the most fuel so you can keep synchro climbing. When it comes to extenders, we have Speedroid Marble Machine. This has a very similar effect to Terrortop, except it's only on normal summon. When Marble Machine is normal summoned, you can search your deck for any Speedroid monster. That's often really good when paired with Terrortop because it helps you snowball your card advantage. You can special summon Terrortop, search Marble Machine, normal summon Marble Machine, and search your deck for one of those main pieces that I just talked about. That's very, very powerful. But there is a caveat. Marble Machine is a pendulum monster, which you might not think is a big deal, but it actually is. And the reason being, pendulum monsters do not go to the graveyard when used for a synchro or a link summon. They go face up in the extra deck. That's relevant because Speedroid Cork Shooter special summons the materials if they're in the graveyard. So if you summon out Cork Shooter with Marble Machine and Speedroid Red Eye Dice, then you cannot actually special summon the materials. That's very, very important to know and to think about. Once you factor that in, it is actually very strong and helps you snowball your card advantage. The next extender is High Speedroid Rubberband Shooter. Now, I see so many people misplaying with this card. You need to understand that this is your choke point. The last thing you want to do is get yourself in a checkmate situation. If you summon High Speedroid Rubberband Shooter and you don't have any extender or any other way to play the game, and you're betting everything on resolving your Rubberband Shooter, if your opponent has effect failure, you are instantly losing the freaking game. I've seen so many Speedroid players just instantly lose because they go for this play first. Do not do this. I can't stress this enough. Do not do this. It's a very strong card, but you need to understand when to play it. You play this after you've already gone through your other plays. Summon out your Cork Shooter first, revive the materials, summon a Hagoida, and then link off into Rubberband Shooter. If you cannot play extenders from your hand, I do not recommend playing this card. Go into any other play. Do not play Rubberband Shooter. I know when a Speedroid player is good based on when they play their Rubberband Shooter. If you play it first, you are misplaying. Do not do that. Play it in the middle to the end of your turn. Then we have Speedroid Duplicate. So this is both an interruption as well as an extender. This actually works as a quick effect too, so it's very, very good. When it's in your graveyard as a quick effect, you can target one Speedroid monster you control, reduce its level by 1, and then special summon it to your field as a level 1 tuner. That's really good because you can use it as a link fodder for Rubberband Shooter. You can use it as a tuner for Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. It's very, very strong. And the final extender that everybody loves is Hagoida. Hagoida is insanely strong. If you control a Speedroid tuner monster, you can freely special summon it from your graveyard. That means you can incorporate it into your synchro climbs, link it off for Rubberband Shooter. Then when you get another Speedroid tuner on the field, freely special summon Hagoida from the graveyard. It's very, very good. Something as simple as normal summoning Den Daikaduke with Hagoida in the graveyard will get you either a Kite Drake or a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. That is very, very powerful. When it comes to playing Speedroids, going first, you want to consider what your end board is. It's important to understand your matchup as well. You have a variety of end boards. Let me give you some examples. You have Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon plus 3 back row. You have Crystal Clearwing plus Crystal Wing plus Clearwing. But make sure that you understand your matchup. For example, when you look at Resonators, base Clearwing Synchro Dragon is insanely good. Resonators have monsters that are level 5 or higher that activate. You want to negate their Red Rising Dragon. They also have their Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, which targets monsters you control, which, by the way, all of your boss monsters are level 5 or higher synchro monsters, so you will be able to negate that as well. Base Clearwing Synchro Dragon is very good against that matchup. Just keep that in mind when you're synchro climbing and going into your turn 1 plays. Conversely, when you look at a deck like Shaddoll, Crystal Clearwing is much stronger, negating one of their spell or trap card effects and making yourself immune to their monster effects is really good against that deck. So it's important that you understand what boss monsters to play against the deck that you're facing. Going second is a completely different story. Let's talk about the power plays that you have access to. Kite Drake. So this card is better than Black Rose because it wipes everything on the board except itself, which is insanely powerful. It forces your opponent's negates out. Or 2, you can negate your opponent's face up board. Also, Kite Drake has a floating effect to search a card from your deck to your hand. That's very powerful. Kite Drake is insanely good. We also have High Speedroid Clearing Rider. This wins you most games if it resolves, and it also has insane recursion. With the ability to use it going first as well, this card is busted. The biggest downside to Clearing Rider versus Kite Drake is that Clearing Rider is an ignition effect. What does that mean? It means that it's spell speed 1. It means that you're not going to be able to activate its effect the moment that it's summoned. In comparison to Kite Drake, which is a trigger effect, which occurs on the moment that it's summoned, it will blow up the board. Clearing Rider gives your opponent time to react to the summon. I'm not going to lie to you, that's a choke point with Clearing Rider. It's a very fair card because it gives your opponent the ability to activate anything in response. If they have a pop, they can just pop your Clearing Rider before it gets a chance to resolve its effect. But when it does resolve, it's very powerful. It can essentially just non-target wipe your opponent's board. Also, it recycles the cards in your graveyard. It's very, very powerful. Then we have Clearing Fast Dragon. So you can use this while you're synchro climbing into Crystal Clearing Synchro Dragon. Just summon Clearing Fast Dragon, make your opponent's monster's attack is 0, negate its effects, then continue Synchro Climbing. Now, I hope that was insightful. I hope you learned a little bit about Speedroids. It's important to understand Speedroids at a broad level because this deck is very in the weeds a lot of the time. It's important that you understand what you want to do in this deck because it often has the ability to do it. You just need to know what you're able to do. So I hope that I at least gave some light to what your possibilities are. And when it comes to actually piecing together the pieces, Undead's got you covered. I know he's got some great combo tutorials, so he will get you to these places. I just want you to understand that a lot of the time you can deviate from those combo lines depending on the situation. If your opponent negates your Terrortop, that's actually good. That is one less thing that you need to worry about. So you can move on to the next play. Okay, now we're gonna attack a Taketomborg. Do they negate that? Okay, then we're gonna skill. Then we're gonna link summon. Those are all just different things that you can do. So it's important that you understand all those things so you can put them together and win your duels. Now, I hope you did enjoy that. Let's go.
This is what my own deck list looks like. If you count all of my starters together, it's 3 Wind, 1 Terrortop, 2 Marble Machine, and 1 Ultra Hound. That's 7 starters, and that might not seem like much, but remember the deck has a lot of anti-bricking mechanisms, like the fact that the skill helps you make plays by itself, the extenders can sometimes work together to make plays, but if you felt that you wanted to have more guaranteed access to Terrortop, you could play some Speedroid Scratch, but that would cut down on some of your tech slots. You could keep your tech slots though, play 2 Wind, and 1 Scratch, simply because the skill can search for Scratch if you opened up with a Duke and want to have a discard outlet for it and still get your Terrortop. Wind also has the added benefit of being able to search other wind monsters, like you can see Kiteroid here, but you could also potentially play Droll or a Mourner here if you like, but I don't ever feel the need to play hand traps in this deck because it's so good at breaking boards anyway. But I play Kiteroid because if Crystal Clear or Kite Drake die, they can search for the Kiteroid to make sure you survive. They could also search any of your other follow-up playmakers like Double Yoyo. But something I often do on my follow-up is use the great effect of Recovery to add back a Speedroid to hand. And I usually add back the Yoyo if I have it there since it represents its own body, but also the body, pretty much anything else engraved. So I'm getting back 2 Roids for the price of 1. Taketomborg is the most important extender, so it's the only one I've got 3 of. The rest are at 2 or at 1 because I can see myself using them that many times. But dice is important at 2 just because we always want to have one in deck to summon off of Taketomborg, but we could always summon it from hand with a Duke if it's really that dire. What every Speedroid player is going to struggle with is the extra deck. Every Speedroid extra deck is going to have 1 Clear Wing Rider, 1 Crystal Clear, 1 Crystal Wing, 1 Kite Drake, 1 Fast Dragon, 1 Clear Wing, 1 Cork Shooter, and 1 Rubberband Shooter. But what you got to do with that 9th slot is split up between 4 options. You can play a second Clear Wing just as banish fodder for your Rubber Band. That way you aren't losing anything with that banish. You could play a second Crystal Clear so you can summon 2 back renegades against Shadol or Despia. You could play Hagoida to get access to the Hagoida combos. Or you could play Kendama as banish fodder for Rubberband to let you grab 2 level 3s from deck, since the level 3s are generally going to be good for you in either hand or grave. You can check out some Kendama plays in the Prestige Speedroid guide. There's also technically the option to completely remove Rubberband from your extra deck, giving you a whole bonus slot and in the process invalidating the need to play Kendama or a second Clear Wing, so you can just easily fit in your Hagoida and second Crystal Clear. But Rubberband is really helpful for playing through interruptions if you're using it right, so it could be risky to go about it that way. There's really no option that doesn't take some amount of options away from you, so I just picked the Hagoida because I love the Hagoida combos and the fact that it sets up Hagoida and Grave for follow-up plays, but you can pick your own poison. The decks I'm running here are all designed to be good, both going first and going second in this deck, but I'm also importantly not running Droplet because this deck really doesn't want to be discarding cards like that, and we can get through boards without Droplet, so there's no point in the minusing. The Prestige guide on this deck goes more in depth on his tech choices, and I agree with his thought processes, so go watch his Speedroid guide and all of his other Speedroid videos so you can get the absolute most knowledge about this deck possible. Now, onto the replays.
I've taught you the final technique, Undead, but let's get something straight. You are not ready to use it. To activate Clear Mind at that speed, your bones are gonna snap in half. You won't be able to recover. I'm giving you this only so you understand it, but don't use it and don't share it. The community isn't ready. It's for their safety and yours.
I'm going second here against Utopia. And, you know, if you can see my hand, you can see I already have the Terrortop. So I'm pretty much winning as it is already. But I also have Shock Surprise and Book of Eclipse, meaning that there's absolutely nothing that anybody can do to stop me from doing what I want to do. But he's going to go for his standard combo. I'm going to speed it up here. We know what Utopia does. We already have a guide on the deck. He's just doing the combo from that guide. Now he's going to be able to set up 3 monster negates and a Omni negate here in this trap. But he's also going to go into Abyss Dweller, which you might think, why not Steel Swarm Roach? I can technically play through Steel Swarm Roach, but Abyss Dweller being a full lingering effect means that I'm never going to be able to activate my Hagoida to revive itself. I'm never going to be able to use Duke to revive something. So that is going to make it a little bit more difficult for me to OTK. I'm going to get it done anyway. Draw a card. He's going to Abyss Dweller right off bat. I'm going to Book of Eclipse, knowing that if this resolves, all of his interruptions, every single one of them, is going to be turned off. So he has to Omni negate this. That's exactly what I wanted. Now I'm going to be able to activate the skill, searching for speed recovery, and putting my 5 synchros into the grave. Now I can banish Kendama and Puzzle to destroy both of his Utopias. He has nothing left now, bro. Terrortop is going to search Taketomborg. Taketomborg is going to summon itself and then summon Dice from deck. Dice makes Terrortop a level 2. They go into Cork Shooter. Cork Shooter brings them both back. Dice makes the top a 6. Then we go into Clear Wing. Excel Synchro into Crystal Wing. We're going to use a skill, discard 2 cards to bring back the Clear Wing, but we can't OTK unless we revive something. So I'm going to bring back the ultimate OTK piece. Chanbara. We didn't talk about this during the video at all. All it does is attacks twice and gains 200 attack each time it battles. Boom, boom. Getting in there for game. Easiest game of my life. Alright, I'm going second again, this time against Resonators. They're going to be able to get full combo, starting with Soul Resonator, searching for the bone discarding the Crimson. That's how you know it's a good hand. And if you look at my hand, it's not quite as bombastic because it doesn't have Terrortop. But this is probably one of the better hands you can get in Speedroids because it's got extension going on. I've got my Carturbo, I've got my double Yoyo, I've got a starter and mobile machine if that's what I need. But yeah, he's going to be able to go for his full combo. He's already got his indestructible Red Nova that can prevent an attack, and he's got his Omni negate Hot Red Dragon Archivine Abyss. Isn't that a beautiful looking card, by the way? Crimson Guy is going to search for his Fiendish Golem, and he's going to be able to use the skill to set Fiendish Chain from the deck. So 3 very relevant interruptions, and he can protect his own interruption here too, which is pretty damn insane. I'm going to start off using the skill to search Terrortop, because I mean, come on, bro. I could let my marble get negated, but I prefer to have my Terrortop get negated because it didn't take my normal summon in the process. So I'm going to fill my grave with Synchro, special summon Terrortop, and hope he tries to negate it, but he doesn't negate it. He's saving it for later, bro. He's saving it for later. So I'm going to search my Taketomborg, special summon it. He's going to effect Veiler my Taketomborg so that I cannot go into my combo. Fair play. I might as well not tribute it. I'm going to go into my Link monster here and attempt to activate it. I'm going to banish my Hagoida. I already have a Hagoida, and here I'm just trying to get my Duke either in hand or in grave, and then, you know, the other copy of Marble Machine wherever. So I can use a skill to discard my Duke. That's essentially the thought process I'm going for here. But he's going to Fiendish Chain me, meaning that I not only don't get my Duke, but I also don't get the bonus normal summon the Rubberband would have given me. So this is definitely a big deal here. This guy's really kicking my ass right now. But I still have my normal summon. I have not normal summoned yet. I'm going to normal summon my Yoyo. Yoyo is going to revive Cork Shooter. He is going to Omni negate it with Abyss. Wow, man. I'm going to have to Chalice that. I don't have a choice. But he can protect himself from Chalice by using Fiendish Golem on his own monster, so that I am still negated. Absolutely disgusting. My Chalice was for naught. I'm going to summon my Carturbo and then revive Hagoida from grave, because I'm still like that. And then I'm going to Synchro summon Fast Dragon. I'm going for the Fast Dragon here to reduce him to 0. I am mainly trying to go full damage here, okay? And then I'm going to use a skill, get out my Clear Wing, and then I can use Carturbo, banishing itself and another Speedroid to boost up my whole field here. I'm going to use my Hagoida to attack into Red Nova. He's going to try to negate the attack, but he's already already negated by Fast Dragon, so the attack is not negated. I'm going to get in there for 28, which is going to trigger his Crimson Gaia to bring something back. Unfortunate for me, I'm going to attack into his Scar Red Dragon Archfiend, which is going to float into the other Red Dragon Archfiend. I'm going to attack into that. His board is going to be clear now. But of course, it's Red Dragon Archfiend, bro. They can play through their whole board getting broken. They're going to send their Fiendish to grave. My Rubber Band is now no longer negated, but it's their turn, so it doesn't matter. He's going to play out his Scarlight, okay? He's going to activate it. I'm going to negate it with Clearwing Synchro Dragon. I absolutely have to, but he is going to be protected from destruction because he's going to use Soul Resonator, banishing itself from grave to protect it from destruction, so he still gets to be there on the field. Crimson Gaia, though, is going to return Fiendish Golem to his hand. He's going to summon his Vision Resonator. With this play, he's trying to summon his Bane. I do not want him to summon his Bane, so I'm going to activate Hagoida, raising their levels by 1. With their levels raised by 1, he cannot Synchro Summon with them. Their levels do not match anymore, so he's just going to have to end his turn this way. He's going to summon back his Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. Very unfortunate for me, man. This guy's kicking my ass right now. I don't know what I'm going to do, man.
You are not ready to use it. You won't be able to recover. Don't use it, and don't share it.
I'm in a tight spot. My opponent's on my ass. They've got everything they need to completely decimate me. My sensei told me I can't do this, but I have to. Clear mind.
Draw. Book of Eclipse. That's what I needed to bait out the interruption here. He's going to try to negate it. My Fast Dragon is going to try to negate him in response, but he's going to use his Fiendish Golem, banishing himself so that the Eclipse still gets negated. But that's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to flip shit down. I like things being face up. That's perfectly fine by me, but he's going to get his Fiendish Chain back. I have to take a risk here. Sensei told me not to do it, but I have to take a risk. I don't have any other choice. Rubberband Shooter, since it's no longer negated, is going to banish my Kite Drake, and I'm going to reveal Yoyo and Fuku Madoshi Piper. I need to draw my Fuku Madoshi Piper here. I have a 50% chance of getting my plan going. This is why Sensei told me not to do it. It's too much of a risk. I'm gonna get it. I got my Fuku Madoshi Piper. Oh my god. I get to bonus normal summon it, and look at the top 3. Hopefully, within my top 3 is a way to help me beat the opponent. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Shock Surprise. Got him. I activate Shock Surprise, banishing 2 Speedroids from grave to destroy his Red Dragon Archfiend and his Crimson Gaia, so he doesn't get to fucking revive everything. Now, I get to Synchro Summon Clearwing Rider. Roll a dice. 4. Give me some more. Return 2 to my deck and destroy his remaining cards. Boost my attack. He gets to return something to hand, but I attack him for game. I did it, Sensei. I did it.
Hey, why they gotta hate on me? I done got me 250,000 views and they still saying they low key. They ain't wanna come work with the kid, but I'm flexing with Zay on beats. How they ask for a spot at the gym, but they leave all the weight on me. I don't ask them to wait on me. They would ask where they gon' be with a song if they wanted the Weatherman. I ain't asking to pay no fees. She was homeless and needed a spot. I ain't ask her to pay no lease. I ain't ask her to say no please. I ain't ask her to make no cheese. Scream fake, but it ain't on me. Got clean, so it ain't no streets. Why green if it ain't no keeps? Brought cream, so it ain't no beef. My team say it ain't no chief. My demon, they hang on me. They seemingly ain't no peace. I seen him, he ain't no beast. For real.